Mostly, this work is very easy for me. It feels very light. Um, like, it's just, that's how I know I should be doing this work because it comes very naturally to me. There's tragedy all around me in working with the homeless. Overdoses, freezing to death, dying alone, hepatitis, E. coli, AIDS, extreme poverty, systemic cruelty, systemic hopelessness. These are all things that are a constant in this work, but they don't really bother me. Like emotionally bother me. They are a great tragedy, and they are great wrongs that are oftentimes brought upon by society itself, which does then, when I start thinking about it, make my blood start to boil. But the work itself, I'm able to do the work without being caught up in being overwrought by the emotions that very likely could consume a person dealing with this kind of constant tragedy. And so that is, I would imagine doctors and firemen and nurses, EMS people, I would think would say the same thing. You just can't do work like this and feel the equivalent emotional tsunami that would represent what you're experiencing. You just couldn't live that way. You would die from emotional exhaustion. I think. I don't know. Maybe I'm heartless. I don't think I am, because I get it, and that's why I'm doing the work, is because these are such great wrongs. But I believe, I'm just able to not feel that emotion. I guess. I don't know if I'm wrong. If I'm like, God, Sage, you're some crazy psychopath. You are wrong. You need to go see somebody because you're out of touch. Please tell me. Please tell me. I don't know. But at any rate, I do get emotional. And I would say that 70%, maybe 75% of the time, this work is very easy for me. Just light. The word, I think, is light. But there are times then when the work becomes incredibly sad and depressing. And I guess it happens, I think it's maybe because when I screw up or something, maybe I haven't really done the full study of why when I'm overcome by sadness or depression for the work. But this week, that was that. So I put out an apology video to this guy, Matt, from Four Brothers Camp. He came in today and he was this week, and he was furious at me. He told me that I basically, defied his, or, betrayed him, I guess would be a good word. And he told me during that conversation that he did want me to come film the camp, but he didn't want people to know, because he didn't know that the camp was being closed. The logistics of it really don't matter. It just really depressed me. It was really a sad, low time for me. And I think mostly because I really like Matt. Like I'm a big Matt fan, and I'm very in awe of his ability to manage these camps out in the wilderness. He's able to manage active drinkers, active drug users, and I was never good at that. He has just like basically one rule, and it's just stay out of other people's tents. That's basically his only rule, and it seems somehow he's able to keep it together, and people like being in his camps, and he seems to have good structured camps. So anyways, he was furious at me, and I just was so sad about it, and then you get all this baggage with that. You're like, well, geez, Sage, you can't even, you're upsetting the very people you're trying to help. And through that, there's other people that were angry at me, and so there's some messaging in certain groups of people that are just, and I'm not upset about them. I'm more like, I don't know what I am, but like, there's just an anti-Sage contingent in the homeless community. Okay, there is. That's it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There are anti-Sage people in the homeless community, and I think it's driven by one particular person. And that's depressing to me, because I'm just like, holy crap. All I'm trying to do is help homeless people, and there are homeless people that hate me. I'm like, what is going on? What is the point? And like literally the words like, I'm going to quit, were in my head. Like, this is it. I'm done. I can't do this anymore. If homeless people hate me, then there's no point. There's no point. Look, the government can hate me, that's fine, I get that. But homeless people hating me? Holy cow. Then, whoa, just never mind. Never mind. I was wrong. I'm just going to go back to business. And it's very depressing when you think you're trying to help people, and then the people you are trying to help hate you. Oh my Lord, it's amusingly depressing. Is this thing still running? I have this weird phone, like, I guess the phone, like, the screen shuts off, but I guess it's still recording. That's how you know, kids, that the government is always listening to you, because I have this recorder going on, and it still works when my phone is locked. Oh, we're doomed. Anyways, that's a whole nother topic. So I'm just like thinking that, I'm just like, this is terrible. If I'm hurting the homeless more than helping, then I need to go away. I need to leave. And that was like really my feeling. And so I'm sitting there at my desk, just like totally defeated and depressed. And out of the blue comes a guy walking in. I didn't know the guy. And I'm telling you, like, this is within a half hour of me feeling this. This guy comes in with a tent and some other supplies and says, Sage, this was my tent. I was homeless for 2 years. And thanks to you and the services you were provided, I was able to get on my feet during those times and get in a house and get a job, and I'm back in society. And then he says to me, you must continue telling the stories of the homeless. We cannot allow the homeless people to become invisible. And I'm like, wow. Because just a minute ago, I was thinking that I had really screwed up by telling the story of the homeless. And now a guy that I don't even know, that somehow we've helped, is telling me I need to keep telling the stories of the homeless. And I'm here to tell you, things like that happened all week long. There was a guy, I was taking Brett, I don't know if you saw it, but we paid Brett's old electric bill. It's a whole nother story, but you can't get your utilities turned on unless you've paid all your past utility bills. So there's people that owe thousands of dollars that will never, ever have utilities in their name. They will never be able to have electric and gas in their name. But Brett only owed like $163 or something like that. What happened was, I don't want to tell you what happened because he didn't give me permission to tell. Anyways, doesn't matter. He just owed $163, and because of you guys, we were able to pay that, and then he was able to get into this apartment through AMHA, which is a permanently fully subsidized apartment. And as long as, he doesn't break the rules, which he shouldn't, seems like he's a guy that's just kind of quiet and peaceful, he should be able to have that house the rest of his life. And he really needs it because he has serious health conditions and can't get, he has serious mental issues, physical issues, and can't get disability. Anyways. I was taking him to try and pay this bill, and a guy on the street just comes out of the blue and gives me a hug and says, "Sage, thank you for everything you're doing." And I'm telling you, all I kept thinking is, God is sending me these people. Okay? My wife is probably listening to this and rolling her eyes right this minute. I think a lot about what I believe and don't believe, and belief is just a belief. You can't ever say, I know anything, right? And so I believe that beliefs are just meant to help us find some sort of semblance of, make some sort of path through the chaos of life. So, there's the randomness of life. You just, for me, believing in things like God and I'm kind of into reincarnation right now. Just helps me organize the world better. And so I was like, oh, God is sending these people to tell me to not quit. I don't know if God was sending these people to tell me that. They might just have randomly been out there. I don't know. But all I know is, thank God for them. I'll say that. Whether or not it was God channeling these people or those people just randomly being in my path, telling me to not quit. Which, honest to God, is not something that happens all the time. Those are not words that come to me on a regular basis. They just came to me, people out of the blue, people I did not know, coming to me, telling me that the work we're doing is incredibly important and to keep fighting. Literally, these are people telling me to keep fighting and to not quit and keep telling the stories. Okay? If God isn't telling me that through those people, I don't know who is. I'm just saying, must have been God. That's all. That's all. Yeah. So, so the reason I wanted to do this podcast was because I had been, I just felt like this was a real low for me earlier this week, and now I'm back. I'm happy again. I'm committed to the work, and of course people are going to be mad at you. Of course. Martin Luther King talked about African Americans being mad at him. What are you going to do? There's jealousy and Monday morning quarterbacking and all this stuff. I wouldn't do it this way. You should do it that way. Well, look, do it that way then. I'm doing it this way, and yes, I'm going to screw up. Look, I'm a screw up. Just doing the best I can, which isn't very good. It's just what I'm doing. I don't know why I wanted to tell you that story. I just felt compelled because this Sage Against the Machine podcast series, I feel like is this kind of behind the scenes deal, and these are the feelings I've been kind of feeling this week behind the scenes. It's doing this work is, I guess the word is not easy. And not always rewarding, and sometimes anti-rewarding. You know, a homeless person burnt down a porta potty in my building and caused $5,000 worth of damage. I mean, come on. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But what are you going to do? Just like one little battle and be defeated? Is that it? That's it? Hell no. In fact, there was I'm on the second season of Deadwood on HBO. I got the HBO $15 a month deal. And then I felt God like gave me this speech. Like, I don't know the names of the characters. I'm sorry. I should know. But he's telling this guy, he's like the guy that runs the newspaper, somebody like trashed his office, and he was like thinking about quitting. And the guy was like, "You're still alive. Your stuff is still here. You can put it back together. What, you're going to quit the very first time something hard happens? You fight until you die. That's it. That's all you do. You fight until you die. Until somebody drags you off of this planet. You fight. You fight, you fight, you fight. You do the best you can. Sometimes it's not going to be very good at all, but it's what you're doing. The motivation is right. For whatever you want. You want to be a millionaire, fight for it. You want to save the world, fight for it. You want to do whatever you want, fight for it. Keep fighting. Do not quit. You will one day be forced to quit. But if you're listening to this podcast, that is not right now. You cannot quit now because you're still alive. Get out there and fight. Swear to God, that's basically the sweet speech that guy told on that Deadwood. I'm like, wow. It just felt like all week long, God was sending me messages. There you go, everybody. That's the week. Feeling good. Beautiful day. Happy coming up 4th of July. Talk about fighters. You know, how about that, right? Yeah, 4th of July. Think about that kind of fight, right? Anyways, you guys rock. Have a great day. I'll see you later.